Well, the government announced, as you know, when we came into office, that we intended to upgrade our position in Brussels and our presence before the European Union. That is happening already. We have a building now in Brussels which will serve as a Gibraltar representation to the EU institutions, and that's now starting to function. We have now deployed to Brussels on secondment somebody from the European Union and International Department, a lawyer, who's now going to be based there and who will be living in Brussels. As you know, we have Sir Graham Watson, who obviously lives in Brussels as well, and also the staff of the original small Brussels office, which is now moving, will carry on into the new building. So that has now happened. The people are now will be working from the new building as at the end of the month, and the old office which we are renting will be closed and returned back to the landlord.
We have, of course, got representation in Brussels with our MEPs, but how important to have local representation, our own office?
I think it's essential because we also need a contact point for the MEPs. So at the moment, some of that has been done by us from here, from Gibraltar, but it's far more useful to be able to have people in Brussels who can meet with the MEPs on the spot, who can discuss issues with them, go and see them, see Commission officials. I mean, that will be invaluable for Gibraltar, especially because there are so many things going on in relation to our position in the European Union at the moment. I mean, there's a whole range of things. There's issues like taxes, issues like the border, aviation matters, and now again come out to the fore. So in all these issues, having people there on the spot will be very helpful to us.
Well, you've mentioned two EU issues, aviation and frontier, and of course both of them form part of the Cordera agreements as well. So if I can bring you closer to home and the Instituto Cervantes and your views on the news that it might close.
Well, the present Spanish government made it a point of policy that their intention was to not only to reserve their position, as it were, in relation to Brussels and in relation to the Trilateral Forum, but that the policy was to actually reverse what had happened and what had been agreed. And they've been doing that in many areas where we've seen it happen. It's happened, in relation to the border and issues of free-flowing frontier. It's happened now in relation to aviation issues, where they're seeking to actively exclude Gibraltar from EU aviation legislation, even though they signed an agreement which committed them not to do it. So Spain is not honouring what they signed. And therefore, in that context, it shouldn't surprise us that the Spanish Foreign Minister should have also declared that his intention to close the Instituto Cervantes in Gibraltar, this is what he once described as putting the toothpaste back into the tube. And obviously, I think the way in which he's gone about it and the way it was announced in the Spanish Parliament in answer to questions was actually totally inappropriate, extremely undiplomatic, and certainly totally unacceptable, because I think the language that was used is not one which you would associate with diplomats. But then Mr. Maragall has shown us over the years he's no diplomat.
And then, of course, people ask themselves whether the British government should stop paying pensions then.
Well, there is a view that the UK should not pay the pensions because Spain has reneged on aspects of that same agreement. Ultimately, obviously, this is a matter for the United Kingdom. This is not Gibraltar money or Gibraltar's taxpayers' money. It is the UK that is paying it, and it is the UK that is funding it. So really, ultimately, it's a matter for them, although that is a view, and it's a perfectly legitimate view to have.